Hey guys, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope that you are doing absolutely fine and your preparation for the STEP exams is going really great. So as you already read in the thumbnail and in the description that in this video I'll be primarily talking about the strategies that I used to score a score of 250 plus on my step 2 CK exam, and also I want to just add that how I jumped a score of 20 points from my step 1 exam to the real step 2 CK exam. To give you a little background, like when I was in my, I would say, internship, that is something which we do after final year in India. So I took my step 1 exam back then, and I scored a score of 230 plus on that exam. And I guess I hadn't shared my score on the YouTube channel back then because I was not that satisfied with my score. But I took that as a moment to reflect back and to understand what shortcomings were there in my preparation that had led to that score, and what could I do, or what improvements could I do in the preparation for my step 2 CK exam. And luckily those strategies, they worked out, and I was able to score a good score in my step 2 CK exam. And that's why here I am sharing those tips with you, so that if you are in the same journey or if you are in the same moods as me, because I know as IMGs, some IMGs, they take the step 1 exam during their medical school and step 2 exam after they graduate or in their internship. So some of them might have the score based exam, but still, even if you are taking the step 1 as pass fail and you are taking the step 2 exam, I would say step 2 exam is becoming more and more important day by day. You already must be knowing about this thing, right? So without further delay, let's talk about the strategies that were able to help me in my step 2 CK prep, and I guess they will help you as well. So the number one strategy that I would recommend for the step 2 CK exam is don't delay, guys. Let's say you have passed the step 1 exam, I would say don't delay it. Why are you delaying it? Because 60% or 50% of the step 2 CK exam is actually the step 1 exam, right? The diagnosis is the same, right? Let's say there is a patient who comes to you with memory loss and and all that stuff that correlates to dementia. So the number one diagnosis is dementia, right? So I would say the diagnosis is the same whether it is step 1 and step 2. Rest, the management thing and the next best step, that changes. So I would say that if you have passed your step 1 exam, just take a small break of like 15 to 20 days and bring the U World and start the U World. So don't delay it. That will be my number one advice. My number second advice, and this thing actually worked so well for me, was to do U World number of times. I would say that when I was preparing for my step 1 exam, I didn't understand the gravity of U World and why U World was that important. And I just used to read first aid and not go into the explanations of the U World, just do the U World superficially. Although now it is like pass fail, but yeah, I'm just giving you the my perspective and my experience. But when I started my step 2 CK prep, I knew that UWorld is the only resource, and I want to understand it very, very deep and do it multiple times. So as a result of that, I was able to make reflexes. Let's say I did the first pass of medicine from UWorld, and when I did the second pass of the medicine from the UWorld, so my reflexes, they were built. Let's say I see a question where the alkaline phosphatase is raised, and I have a young female who has non-specific symptoms like fatigue and some sort of hyperbilirubinemia. So I would just quickly understand and quickly connect the dots that it may be a case of primary biliary cirrhosis, and the next question they may be asking about me would be the marker or antimitochondrial antibody or things like that. This is just an example. The same happened with so many things like endocrinology and neurology and things like that. So I would say as you do the U World multiple times, you build a reflex, and this reflex will actually help you to save the time in the real deal. Let's say in the real deal you have 40 questions and you have 60 minutes, and let's say you get like 15 questions on those reflexes, and believe me, they will come. And if you get like 15 questions that are based solely on those reflexes, you will be able to save a lot of time for questions which are trickier or questions which need little more time to understand and to dive deep into, right? So again, the number one strategy is to start UWorld and to do start UWorld early and to do UWorld like multiple times. And just to give a little idea, I did UWorld like, I would say 2.5 times, very normally I did it 2.5 times. Okay, apart from that, the second thing that helped me was to start revising from the beginning, guys. I cannot stress further upon this thing, like how important this thing is. Like, we all do UWorld and we start UWorld and we finish the first pass and then we start the second pass, but what mistake we do is, like, when we are doing the first pass of the UWorld, we are studying, we are learning one thing, and as we shift on to the second, we just let go of that thing. This is a huge mistake that we are doing it, and it is actually just wasting our hard work. So I would say, let's say I was doing medicine and I finished gastro, so I will take gastro and I will put gastro in one of the slot of my whole study schedule throughout the day, be it 1 hour, be it 2 hour, so that I was able to remember it and kind of go through it day by day. Same happens when you finish one subject. Let's say you have finished pediatrics and now you are on to medicine, or let's say you have finished OBGYN and now you are into medicine. That OBGYN has just like I would say close to just like 12 or 13 blocks, right? So why can't you just put OBGYN in one block or one slot of your day, and while you are doing the medicine, you keep revising OBGYN, and by this theory or by this strategy, you will be able to keep OBGYN as fresh and I would say as clear as it was during your first read. So this was another thing that helped me, and even through the last phase of my step to CK prep, I was doing the same thing, that in one slot I was keeping one subject, in second slot I was keeping second subject, in third slot I was keeping the third subject. So the number one strategy, again, to do UWorld multiple times. Second strategy is that while you are doing UWorld multiple times, you don't omit and you don't just leave the subject that you have already finished, but you keep them in a loop so that everything is fresh. Third point is that I would try to reiterate this point, that ethics and communication and quality and safety are very important. And when I was taking my step 1 exam, this was one of my weaknesses, and in step 2 CK exam I actually worked on this and improved these things. So I would say the best thing that happened to me was reading AMBOSS specifically for ethics and communication and this quality and safety. So I would recommend the same to you guys. AMBOSS library is so brilliant for this ethics and communication part. I would say just go through the library of AMBOSS for ethics and communication, and after you go through the library of AMBOSS and AMBOSS for this ethics and communication, you go and you solve the questions. There must be like 3 or 4 blocks or maximum of 4 blocks for whole ethics and communication, and once you are done with that, you will feel that, oh god, now whatever happens in ethics and communication, I can deal with it. Same happens with quality and safety. You go through the library and then you attempt the question. I assure you that you will be able to solve 8 out of 10, guaranteed. Any question like about the error, about the root cause analysis, about handing over. I have seen so many of those questions on AMBOSS, on UWorld, but once you go through the library and once you read the theory before attempting the question, it will be way simpler. Okay, so again, this is the third strategy, that going for this AMBOSS thing for ethics and communication and quality and safety. So guys, after this there is another strategy, and it is about the CMS and NBMAs. So I would say that CMS are very important exams, and they are very important practice exams. And so what you do is that when you cover one subject, let's say you finish pediatrics in the UWorld, now you know that you have the content of pediatrics with you already. You have one slot in which you are revising the pediatrics, right? So why don't you introduce CMS at this stage? So what would be the appropriate stage to introduce the CMS is when you cover or when you finish one subject, be it medicine, be it OBGYN, be it pediatrics, right? So just introduce a CMS and do it every alternate day. There are like 50 questions per block, I would say 50 questions per CMS form. And if you are able to score 40 plus, you are in a really good shape. And this is when you are, just going to the first pass, right? So if you keep doing it, you will be just ace before the exam. And regarding the NBME, I would say that I personally feel that you should be introducing NBMEs about 2 months before the exam, because NBME 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I guess 14 is new one. So these will be the main NBMEs. And what I used to do was that I used to do NBME every week. And let's say on Sunday I am going to attempt the NBME, and throughout the week I will go on reviewing that NBME and what sort of questions are there, and how do you approach those questions and all that stuff. Now there is a very important thing, like once you go through the NBMEs, you pay a specific attention to those questions, because those questions are really important. And I would say you can just try to recapitulate the concepts that resemble those concepts which are being asked. Let's say you are being asked about Alzheimer's, dementia. You should at that point try to recapitulate, okay, what happens in Huntington chorea, what happens in NPH, what happens in other sort of dementia, so that you at a time you are doing 5 questions out of 1 questions, right? So yeah, this is the time where you introduce NBMEs and CMS. And I would go on the last strategy, that is divine podcasts. I'm sorry, I was really lucky that I went through divine podcast in the last week of my dedicated before going to the exam. And that really helped me, especially with the screening and with the vaccination and with the risk factors and with the ethics. So I would say that those audios, those rapid review audios, or those audios which are like specifically for the Step 2 CK exam, and those are being circulated in the Reddit or other forums. I would say that you can go through those videos and through those audios in the last few days or a week before your exam, and that will really help you, especially those risk factors, those ethics, those vaccination, screening. Everything will be helping you, and it will be just increasing your score by 0.5 or something like that. So yeah, so these were the strategies that I personally followed throughout my Step 2 CK prep, and I definitely recommend you to follow these strategies, because ultimately it's a process that you have to complete, and you have not to leave any stone unturned, right? So you have to do everything before you go and take your exam. So these were the strategies that I was thinking that I would share with you, and I wish you all the best for your Step 2 CK prep. And if you like this video, do subscribe to my YouTube channel, because it keeps me motivated to make more and more videos. And yeah, all the best for your exam. Thank you so much, guys.